Good morning, everybody. I'm just listening to a chap over there calling frantically for his dog. I think it's gone missing. It's obviously gone missing in the woods. But its name's Colin. Of all things, he's wandering through the woods shouting Colin, and obviously the dog's having far too much fun to be interested in his owner. So today I've come to a very, very public wood, as you can tell. But the reason I've come here is because this particular woodland tends to hold on to its colours, its autumn colours, right into the end of November and even sometimes into December. So I've come to explore it, to see what I can find. I've been here many times, but I've not really taken a lot of broader scenes, let's say. I've always come and shot mostly the woodland floor images because the beech trees here are just tremendous. But I'm going to try today to try and find something a little bit of a larger scene. But what a beautiful day it is. I mean, it's blue sky. Some would say it's not ideal for the broader scene, but hopefully I can find some little corner somewhere where I can get some nice images. Like I say, it's unique, this woodland. It's certainly in my area, in that at this moment in time all the other woods that I know have been completely stripped of all their colour, but yet here, as you can see, it's still beautiful. So let's get going, and I'll see what I can find. So I've had a little walk around the wood, and I've got to be honest, I'm battling with the contrast. The sun has got up pretty quickly. It's quite high in the sky, and it's already casting directly into the woodland, and it looks beautiful to the naked eye. It really does. And I'm not sure how it looks on film, but it certainly looks nice as I see it, as you're viewing it now. But in reality, the camera, even though my camera is relatively modern, it's still battling with that contrast. So I'm not sure whether the big scene is really going to be a theme of today. I'm still going to look for it, but I'm not as confident as I was when I set out this morning. But at the very least, if I see something, I can at least come back to it on another occasion, and I'll point those scenes out if and when I see any. But for now, I've got the camera on the first image, and beautiful again, big, majestic, grand beech tree just here, and the aerial branches in the canopy are really quite striking. And typically with beech, you get this lovely dark black bark, and particularly underneath where the rainwater has moved round the branches and it's still wet underneath, you get these lovely black lines, and as you look up into the canopy, you see these gorgeous shapes, and of course you've got the autumn colours. I'll just show you what I've got set up now. So this is the frame as I've got it lined up, looking directly up into the canopy. As you can see, you've got some nice striking dark branches on the left hand side, and they're balanced by the branches on the right. Reasonably symmetrical, but not that the right hand side completely mirrors the left hand side, but more a case of the two sides balance each other out. I've got a polarizer on. If I just turn that around to there, you can see that's unpolarized. and then you've got the full polarization effect there, which really saturates those yellows and that blue sky behind. I've got f13. I'm focused on the dark branches. That's the nearest point in the frame, and that's sufficient to cover the whole of the top of the canopy. Really quite happy with that as a first image, so I'll put that on now. So as an addition to that, I've taken a wider view. The first one was taken at 85mm. This one is now taken at 45mm, same aperture, a more all-encompassing scene. The branches, the dark branches that you just saw, are now creating much more of a fan effect, and I really quite like that. There's more of the trunks in this scene as well, but just the overall grandeur of the canopy is what this image seems to capture, so I will put that one on now as well. So hopefully I made that walkthrough shot a bit obvious as to what these next two images are about, and of course it's these beautiful long shadows cast by the beech trees on the left hand side and the sun shining through them. There's one or two problems that I've had to get over, but I think I've mastered that now. The first being the highlights in contrast to the shadows that are quite harsh. So I've put a polarizer on to remove any reflections of the highlighted portions. I have got to be a little bit careful, because there's a tendency for the bits that are bright and polarized to blend in with the areas that are shadows, so you don't see the contrast quite so well. So it's a balance of maintaining the contrast but not having the highlighted portions burnt out. So I'm taking 3 images at different exposures, just so if I need to I can blend them in. The first scene of the two, I'm going to include the top of the bank, and the reason I've done that is because when I lift the lens up, because I've moved the camera out so it's not in the shadow of a tree, I'm getting lens flare, and I like that effect across the top of the bank because it's creating a misty, ethereal sort of feeling, sensation, look, whatever you want to call it, to that part of the image, and I think it adds to the atmosphere of these shadows coming in towards the camera. The second shot, I've excluded the banking entirely and I've just focused on the strong shadows and nothing else, more of an abstract sort of image. Exactly the same again with the polarizer and 3 images in case I need to blend them together. ISO is 100. We've got beautiful still conditions, so I don't need a fast ISO. I'm on f16 to get depth of field, focusing about 1/3 of the way into the frame, and the shutter speed is 1/6 of a second. Lens focal length, this is a 24mm widest, which is what I'm on for the big scene, and I've gone for the 45mm for the closer scene, zoomed in. So I shall put the wide one on first, followed by the more closer scene second. Such a beautiful autumn day. Look at these shadows again everywhere, and they're coming into play with this lovely twisty beech branch that's come off this enormous tree at the side of me. I'm glad I weren't here when that came down. I just wanted to talk quickly about today is really about, for me, just no expectations. I do this a lot, and I just like to go for a walk. It's not the best from a YouTube video point of view, because you generally got some pressure to deliver, but more often than not I find something. I try to find more than one shot if I can. 3 is an absolute bonus, but the point being is that coming out with no expectations and then finding something that's a real beauty, there's nothing beats that feeling as far as I'm concerned in my photography. A couple of films ago I talked about photo bagging, where you sort of turn up at a known location where everybody goes to, or a location that you've seen and you're going back to try and get the image that you've got in your mind's eye. That's great, and I do advocate that, as long as we're not having too much of an impact, a recreational impact on the places that we visit. But it's a real good way to hone our skills, as I said in the video. But this, it's real exploration, and nothing beats finding that little gem that you were not expecting on the day. Now, had I come here on a day which is when most woodland photography is done, sort of overcast light or fog, mist, then I would never have seen any of these lovely shadows that I've got this morning. So regardless of what the conditions say, my advice is to get out there and just spend time with the camera and spend time learning to see the things around you. If nothing else, it's fantastic for our mental health, and that's got to be a good thing. Polarizer, 75mm lens. If you don't want to see another forest floor scene, look away now. I have to do this. 3 beautifully placed sycamore leaves. F19, 2-second exposure, 100 ISO. The colours are amazing. I'll put that on now. So I'm going to call it a day. My stomach has started growling, so it's time to head back to the van and grab some lunch. I hope you've enjoyed today's images. I did feel the need to slip in that woodland floor shot with an almost apology that went with it. I do think that it's important as photographers to look for new versions of what we've already got, and the idea is that you improve on the versions that you've got, and I think that one that I did back there was certainly an improvement on 1 or 2 of the others I've done of late. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of today's images. I hope you've enjoyed the film. If you're not already subscribed, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. So until next time, bye for now.